Saquon, is he the best NFL running back? And the reason why I asked that is because the Giants here are 2-0. Now, again, I'm a Panthers fan, and I feel like we were cheated, so they should be 1-1. But it's not really. We should be 2-0, but that's another video for another day. Is Saquon Barkley the best running back? Because personally, if he ain't played the way he's played, these Giants don't win the games they won. And they barely beat us. So, I mean, is it time to consider Saquon? I know it's early. It's only 2 weeks in. Should we call Saquon Barkley the best running back in the NFL, fellas? Chris, what you thinking? I mean, almost 200 yards on the ground. You said a buck 48 by Diggs is tough. When you got Daniel Jones at the QB, I'm thinking everybody just gonna send the blitz off jump. I'll take my chances with Daniel Jones throwing it. So I feel like that's a little tough to do too with Saquon.
If my man from Carolina could have just stayed healthy, he will be the best running back in the game. But if we just talking about right now, it's Quan. It's to me, as to me, it's Quan. Because he can do stuff that we haven't seen a running back do. He can run. He got big claws. Plus, he can catch.
I mean, but we got a couple of folk out here who can do that. We got Kamara, you know what I'm saying? We got CMC. There's a couple of folks out here. I will say though, from a talent, from a physical standpoint, though, he does he was supposed to be one of the better talents that did come into the NFL. So you got Jonathan Taylor too, though. I think him and Jonathan Taylor kind of remind me of one another. So I don't know. He's got to carry that team, and right now he's doing his thing. So I don't know, Freddie. It seemed like you kind of disagree though.
Okay. So I'll say this: is he a top 5 running back right now, based on first week? Yes. Sure. As far as what he can do on the field as well and responsibility, yeah. Is he the best? No. He had a great game in week 1, but he had like a 60-yard run. So he had a long run that gave him the majority of the yardage he had in week 1. Week 2, I give him credit for what he did versus the Panthers, because the Panthers is a tough defense to play against. You had 20 rushes, 70 yards, something like that. And he's a dual threat. And he's going to get a lot of touches. I give Daniel Jones a little more credit this year. I give the Giants a little more credit this year. Once again, I think they're better now. They drafted well. And as long as he can stay healthy, I think he'll be dangerous, because he's one big play away, right? You get some of those running backs through history who all it takes, you get some guys who needs 20 touches. Derrick Henry's and such. But you get some guys who let them get around that corner, right? let them get through that gap, and they ain't no middle linebacker or whatever, right? And he's running through your safety and going home. So top 5, I would say right now, Nick Chubb is, because Nick Chubb's in the same situation. Nick Chubb played the same Panthers team. Nick Chubb just came off of a 3-touchdown game. And again, you just know, Daniel Jones is a capable thrower. You know that they're going to get a ball to Nick Chubb 20 to 25 times. He's a big play guy as well. And go back to last year, he did this, the year before, and he has health in the side. Saquon, we're 2 games in, and I can never give nobody the throne that quick. So I still put, sadly, Derrick Henry ahead of him, because Derrick Henry just had a putrid game yesterday, but his quarterback's trash, and they played the Bills. Jonathan Taylor, I'll still put ahead of him. I'm going to put Nick Chubb ahead of him. And then from there, man, you look at people like... I'm sorry?
CMC don't get no love? Christian McCaffrey?
That's exactly where I was about to go, though. You got to mention him as well. So I'll say right now he can be top 5. But best, heck no. Not off no 2-game stretch where he played a lot last year and he didn't have any real crazy games, He was essentially Ezekiel Elliott last year.
I feel like their team won the best last year. It won't, that just won't salvageable personally. But I don't know. And let me ask you this, boss. Because I'm assuming that you don't agree, or you don't think that Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL. No. So is there anything that Saquon can do to say, you know what, he gonna jump from top 5 to the best for you? Is there anything that Saquon can do?
No, and it's out of his control.
Okay.
I said this, the Giants are 2-0. Let's call it what it is. The Giants are 2-0, but I don't believe in them. I don't trust his situation. There's too many nuances. That offensive line, I don't believe will hold up. Daniel Jones, I mean, come on. I will let him throw 40, 50, 60 times a game, and it ain't going to hurt you. I mean, last week he threw 34 passes, had 176 yards. I mean, the Panthers have a good defense, but come on.
We were worried about
my thing with Saquon is that I've always been concerned about his health. Mm-hmm. And I will put Saquon in the same breath that I put Odell in a few years ago. Mm. When you look at these two athletes, they can do things that nobody else at their position can do, right? You look at Odell at those years with Eli Manning, you look at him and you're like, nobody else can do this, but he's not the best at his position. Because in that time, AB was in Pittsburgh going crazy.
Yes.
Julio Jones was going crazy. D-Hop is quarterback proof. He's going crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you look at it and you're like, he may be the best athlete at his position. He can do things no one else can do, but he's not the best at his position. And that's what I'm at with Saquon. 6 foot, 215, 220, fast as hell, quick as hell, can catch, can play the slot, catch out the backfield. You can give him 25 carries a game, throw him in the slot, give him an additional 10 targets. He's going to be effective. But his situation ultimately is what's going to hold him back. It's not a talent thing. It's a situational thing. And running backs don't have much control over an NFL game at this point. And over the last 12 to 13 years, per se.
Would y'all say, though, that the running backs have started to, acquire some more, I guess, gravity, if you will, in the NFL? Because you got, a lot of running backs that have been carrying you now more so. You got the Derrick Henrys. You need a quality running back.
Yeah, but that's few far in between, Trey. It's like the analytics with basketball. They tell you to take the 3-point shot, but there's a guy under the basket who can just get you 2 points, but you'd rather shoot the 3. NFL, I got a dude back here, I could just give him the ball 20 to 25 times, set up my play action, but I'd rather just start throwing and eventually give him the ball.
Can we put a bookmark in that? Because I think Chris, do you still have to go? Or
no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I do want to put a bookmark in you saying that. I don't want to cut you off. I just want to, because I want to make sure I remember you saying that. I think we talked about that before, Mark. But
and it's the running game is a key point to success, right? Mm-hmm. But the NFL neglects that until it happens, and then you're like, oh, this dude actually had a good game in this Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But he never really did this in the regular season. But the run game is so important.
Cam Akers.
Just like getting to the cup and just taking that 2 points instead of just gunning threes. So it correlates, right? I think it's a game of analytics. It's just football never called it analytics. I don't know what they call it. What is it? Next gen stats, some old crazy, stupid junk like that. They get into all that. It's the football version of analytics, right? And I don't, it is what it is, but it's all situational based. And I can't give Saquon the best in the league, most talented, I'll give him that. He can do things.
Most talented for sure, yeah. Most talented.
Best? No.
Okay. Well, the other thing if we're gonna try to deem Saquon the best, I think we gotta put DeAndre Swift ahead of him, right? Essentially, if we're going by just those first 2 games, if you look at what DeAndre Swift has done with the Detroit Lions, then and he's a dual threat for real. Then now is the argument still going to stand? We know DeAndre Swift isn't the best running back in the league, but
right.
You know what I'm saying. So I think that's why for me, I always have a cause for a pause. We got to see if he was healthy last year and doing this. I'm like, okay, he's out to set the tone and make a statement. But last year he was mediocre at best.
I mean, look at the Cincinnati Bengals before the Joe Burrow stuff started taking off. Joe Mixon was in the trenches winning 4 games a year. Mm-hmm. He was getting them 1,200 yards with those 300, 400, 500-yard seasons from the receiving perspective. So, Joe Mixon is a guy who will never get mentioned. but I'm here to mention him.
Look at his numbers. Yeah.
As a legitimate top tier running back.
He's on my
brings to the table.
Buddy, solid work. Buddy been doing solid.
The aesthetics might not be there, but the numbers say otherwise.
Hey, that's for start. Like that's for certain. And Freddie, I'm glad you said. I'm glad y'all said most talented. Okay, cool. I can see that. I can see that. Which kind of transitions me on to my next question. Now we got 3 team people. And maybe this blends into the next segment after that, so we can talk about it.